Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook. Well, hey, how we doing, everybody? Coast to Coast Bros here with you. This is J-Mac, the bearded one. I'm joined tonight by two of my counterparts, two guys that have been here for a while, been rolling with us, kind of rolling with the show, and get that rolling with the show, and not rolling with the flow, rolling with the show. You got it? All right. And we are on at Dark 30. Big B, why are we on at Dark 30?
Because it can get dirty.
That's correct. That is correct, sir. All right.
Especially if certain fans come on and talk to us. I mean,
that's right. That's right. So I'm going to introduce everybody. This is J-Mac, the bearded one. I'm joined tonight by Chris P. Bacon. Sir Bacon, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good. Not bad.
They don't call him the best color man in radio for no reason, because he's a man of few words, but he'll put some expert words in there on it. And with a name like Chris P. Bacon, how can you go wrong?
That's true.
All right, and then we got the one, the only, yes, a man that could be considered two men, Big B.
Yeah, you're not lying there. I could definitely be 2-1, but I don't know if a lot of people would like that or not. But I'm doing good. Just got off of work. Always happy to join the show when I can.
All right, and real quick before we get jumping into, we're gonna do 15 through 11 tonight in our top 25 players in the NFL. We're gonna keep that list going tonight. We'll go with that. Before we do that, I do have a special guy who usually is on the show, Justin. He likes to ask a lot of questions. So he sent me one question he wants me to answer. So if I don't get to any of his other ones, I want to answer this one. And what he wanted us to answer was what our thoughts are on Ronaldo going to Manchester United. So I'll start with that. I mean, I know you guys don't watch a lot of soccer, a lot of football, as they call it, in the English Premier League, but I think that Ronaldo going to Manchester United is going to mean a lot for that team. It's going to bring that team back from oblivion. They haven't really been in oblivion, but it's going to give them a great shot at winning the English Premier League. Ronaldo is a great player, just a generational player, as I call him. You only got a few generational players in certain sports. I mean, we can all agree with that, right? So, in soccer, you kind of had Pele in the early 1900s, mid-1900s there. Pele, and then it kind of probably went to David Beckham right after that, who was a generational player and everyone knows his name. And then, of course, you got a guy like Ronaldo. You have Lionel Messi. Those guys right now, those are generational talents that everyone knows their name. No matter if they watch soccer or not, they've heard those names. Am I right?
Yeah.
You guys don't watch soccer, but you know who those guys are.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's one of those guys. So he's definitely going to bring that team and give them a good chance to win the English Premier League. So Justin, if you're watching, I hope I addressed your question correctly, and I'm glad we could get that answered out there for you tonight. So, Chris, man, how's your week been?
Not bad. It's been pretty good. Seems like it's cooler weather. Still a little warm, but it's not bad.
I know it's been cooling down here a little bit. I think definitely cooling down. Getting to. It's still been a little warm. I think it's been in the 80s, but it ain't nothing like 100, 105 like it was for seemed like the entire freaking month of July. So at least we're not there anymore. We're not there anymore, which is I'm totally okay with. How about you, Big B? What's the weather been like over there in Minnesota?
Hot to rainy. I mean, we've been getting hit with some nice thunderstorms and rain showers, so helps the grass and crops grow. So as long as it's not the white stuff falling, I'm okay right now. So
Yeah, that'll be soon enough over there, won't it?
Yeah, hopefully December, but my luck we'll see it in October.
He's like, don't remind me.
Yeah, don't remind me for sure.
Well, that's a funny thing because when I was a kid, I used to love the winter.
Oh,
And
didn't we
now
all?
that I'm older, and then now when I'm older, it's like, no, I can get rid of the winter.
Didn't
So-
we all? Didn't we all? I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
we all loved the winter when we were kids because we didn't have to
Snowball
drive it.
fights, football
Right.
games. I mean,
I remember playing football in the snow. Like
Yep.
it was so cold in northern Wisconsin where we lived that my dad typically wouldn't put a hat or pull his hood up until it was like 0 or below that. Like that's
Yep,
how you.
exactly.
That's just how used to the weather you were. You know, that's
Yep.
not. That's just kind of how used to it you get up there. You know what?
yep.
Am I wrong though, Brandon? Like you get used to that weather where.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you, I lived in Central Oregon. They get buckets of snow sometimes there, and because the elevation's like 4,000 feet, right around in there, and so you get a bunch of snow. And I'll tell you, I'm out there 19 degrees outside with no jacket on, out there shoveling snow, because it doesn't feel like 19 degrees. It's just a different kind of.
Yep.
With the sun reflecting off the snow, it makes it warmer, I think, than 19 degrees. But anyway. Enough about that, Chris. We know you live in Texas. You guys don't even get snow, so you're out of the conversation.
We did last year. That was good enough.
Yeah, you guys shut down for like
okay.
a week.
Okay. But now we got to have the conversation, Chris, because look. So what we're talking about with snow is we're not talking about one day a snowflake decided to fall in the middle of the street and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's a snowflake. We got to shut down." We are talking about you open your front door and you have to tunnel your way out of it to get to the driveway.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
That's the snow we're talking about. We're not talking about a snowflake falling and shutting down the city. So let's look at this. All right. So,
if we got that snowflake in Minnesota, we're still all playing golf. So
right. All right. So without further ado, let's go straight into it here. So, Chris, you got to do the introduction at number 15, man. Give it to us.
Number 15.
So, number 15 on our list is David Bakhtiari. Anyone opposed to that? I mean, let's talk about him for a minute. Probably one of the best offensive linemen in football.
I can love to the big guys.
I think number 15 is pretty spot on. I think he's right there up in upper echelon because we know in the top 10, we know the top 10's coming, and we know the top 10 is going to be quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. We just know it. We know that's what the top 10 is going to be.
And maybe a defensive back or something.
Maybe a defensive back, a defensive end, something like that. But it's not going to be the big guys that deserve the love.
Nope.
So where they're going to get love is right here. And I think the Bakhtiari is, I think he's actually rated as the top offensive tackle in football. So number 15 is probably a pretty good place for him on this list.
I definitely wouldn't mind running behind him.
Yeah.
I know, like it's like running behind a Mack truck. Some of the holes that he can open there. Now we were talking about how on the list we've had a lot of defensive players, and I think that's interesting myself that we've had a lot of defensive players in a passing league. But I think with a passing league, one thing that we didn't mention on the last show, a reason why maybe we have a lot of defensive players on here, is one. The defensive backs have a better chance of getting an interception because the ball's thrown a lot more. So they're going to be on the list. They have a better chance at shutting guys down, not giving up as many yards, right? So we're all on par with that. We're on the same page. And the second reason why a lot of defensive ends and, say, stand-up linebackers are going to be on the list is because of what reason? If you're dropping back into the pocket, what's going to happen more? You're going to get more sacks. More sacks are going to happen. Those numbers are going to go up. So number 14, and I'm sorry, I got to do it like Chris. So let me get in real close here and do this. At number 14.
Just doesn't sound right, J-Mac.
Yeah, I know. I can't do it
Khalil
like
Mack.
Khalil Mack at 14.
To jump, before we talk about Khalil Mack, with defensive backs too, if you're good enough, you're shutting down half the field. The team's gonna make their game plan to go to the opposite side. So I mean that's one thing a lot of defensive backs have now. If they're good enough, they're shutting down half the field. So.
Right, and I completely agree with that. And I don't know where you stand on that, Mr. Bacon, but I'll tell you that.
I agree.
Yeah, because everyone keeps talking about Jamal Adams, and he was on our top 25 list, and everyone's like, "Oh, but he's only got 2 career interceptions." But if you're not throwing the ball to his side of the field because he's shutting down half the field, how's he supposed to get those interceptions? So me personally.
Just because he has 2 interceptions, I mean, what's his catch ratio, or what's the receiver's catch ratio against him? So.
Exactly, and then that's more what to look at. People can always come up and say, "Oh, a corner's only got 2 picks in his career. He's not very good." Well, no, I mean, Jair Alexander for Green Bay, he's on our top 25 list, right? And we talked about how much of a shutdown corner he was. Correct? He's played 2 years. He's only got 3 career interceptions. So you're telling me he's not good? Like, it's all about the number of yards you give up and the catch percentage on your side of the field. Corners, there's way more deeper stats than just interceptions. That's for sure. That's so.
You can say that with receivers too. It's like, this receiver isn't playing well. Well, he doesn't get thrown the ball as many times. So
right. So before we move on to number 13, we do need to give Khalil Mack some love, though, because he is a very good player in the NFL. What are you guys' thoughts on Khalil Mack?
Well, our teams get to see him twice a week there, J-Mac, so...
Yeah,
unfortunately, that sucks, but, I mean, the guy is good. I mean,
really
nothing
good.
more to say. If I was a quarterback or running back, I'd try to stay away from him.
What do you think, Crispy Bacon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, and I think he can still, wreak havoc on teams. So,
yeah,
he's one of the top.
I mean, everyone talks about how, the Bears gave up so much to get him, but have the Raiders really fared that much better from everything they got for him in the long run? I mean, they have not done anything since then, so... Really, who fared out better in that trade?
Right now, no one really, because neither team. I mean, neither team's really done anything. I mean, the Bears are the Bears, and the Raiders are the Raiders. I mean, you give up a bucket load of picks and players or whatever, they should turn around your team in a heartbeat. But for some reason, Oakland's not doing it right. So
that's true. How about signing Darren Waller to the extension that he signed this year? He's the highest paid tight end in NFL history for the Raiders. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's a good move. I mean, Raiders need a tight end, and the season's coming up. So.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so are we ready to move on to number 13?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, got to do it for us, man.
Number 13.
Tyreek Hill is number 13 on our list. We all had him 12, 13 on our list. All 5 of us that submitted lists all had him there, so I think this is the best spot for him. The guy is just... A lot of words come to mind, with Tyreek Hill. One is arrogant. I get that sometimes he's a little arrogant. But I'm sorry.
Good.
But if you were the fastest human on the football field and you caught the ball, wouldn't you be a little arrogant too because no one's going to catch you?
Yeah.
Well, Deion was the same way, though, and nobody called him arrogant. I mean...
I'm sure a few people did.
Well, yeah, I guess it doesn't get thrown around as much as it used to because Deion... Pretty much, you couldn't throw to him, or else it was going to get picked off, or he played offense. I mean, I don't know if I consider Deion arrogant. Maybe just his ego was bigger than it should have been. But I mean, Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Here's all I'll say about Deion, and I had my issues with Deion. Don't get me wrong, because I could not stand Deion when he played with the Cowboys and the 49ers because guess what? You couldn't throw the ball his way or it was going back for a touchdown. Like that was just the way it was. And
you
so
could punt to him or kick to him or
no. So I mean, Dion definitely was a presence on the field. But my thing with Dion is there's a reason why he can be arrogant, and I will always back him up on this. He's the only player in North American sports history, all of the athletes that have played, he is the only one that has hit a home run in baseball and scored a touchdown in the same week in North American sports history. No one else has done it.
And he's also the only one to play both sports on the same day.
Both sports on the same day, and he played in the Super Bowl and in the World Series. So let's not forget how good he really was at two sports, not just one.
Now you can't do that anymore.
Well, you could, but it's just. I think the money's more important now that teams don't want you to do two things at once. I mean, because there's a lot of these quarterbacks that also played baseball in college, and they're like, "Well, I want to do both," and they're like, "Oh, you're not going to get paid then if you're going to do both." I mean, so
right. But let's not forget Tyreek Hill is our player. He's at 13, and I think he's a very good player. He can turn a game in a matter of seconds. And with Mahomes throwing him the ball, that's a dynamic duo that's not going to go away anytime soon. So,
yeah, exactly.
Now, number 12, I believe he would have been a lot lower on this list last year. I don't even know if he'd have made the top 25 for me last year. But I have to say, everyone was like, what's he going to be like when he gets a premier receiver? Well, his premier receiver has already showed up on our list. So when you see the name, Chris, give it to us, man.
Oh, I know. What number?
12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. And his premier receivers already showed up on our list, and Stephon Diggs. We all thought, hey, okay, so we thought two things last year when Diggs went to Buffalo, at least I did, was does Diggs have what it takes to be a premier receiver in this league? And how good is Josh Allen going to be now that he has a number one receiver? And then all Josh Allen did was went out and broke every franchise record that there was to break for the Buffalo Bills last year, throwing to Josh Allen and Cole Beasley. So, with no running game, by the way. Josh Allen was number one on their team in rushing yards last year. So he can not only throw the ball, but he can run too. And so definitely one of those guys that you did not see. I definitely not, coming out of Wyoming, did not see him ever being as good as he is. Tell me if I'm wrong, Big B, but I never saw that coming.
I don't know. I mean, because each quarterback's going to fare different in different systems. I mean, before he got Diggs, I didn't think he was going to be a top 5 quarterback or lead his team to anybody. I thought maybe a journeyman quarterback, but he got into the right system. They made the right moves, and now Buffalo's a contender. So
I think a lot of times too, it's not where the it's where the quarterback goes, but who's in that system.
Yeah.
You know, he can go to any other team, but is it going to be the right system for that player?
Well, you know, we've already seen that. We've seen that in other quarterbacks. I mean, they excel in one place and then they go to the next place because they got the big contract because they played so well where they were, and then
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum is a classic example of that. Oh man, why his name just slipped my mind.
Matt Schaub,
Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
Osweiler played great in
Flynn.
Denver's system. Matt Flynn. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on as far as how these guys played. It's Jeff George comes to mind back in the early 90s.
But Jeff George hung around because he could sling the ball like nobody's business.
Oh, man. I mean...
but I mean, like a guy like Scott Mitchell, when he played with the Dolphins, he had, 2 good games and signed that big contract with Detroit. I mean, that's the guys we're talking about.
Right.
Just because he had a couple good games, he got paid.
Yeah, for sure. But for me, Josh Allen's one of those guys. He's got a big arm, but he's proved as well that he can be accurate. Everyone forgets about Josh Allen. He's got a big arm, but you know that he he was in the bottom 10 in interceptions last year. Like, everyone forgets about that. You know who else they forget about with that is Justin Herbert, who hasn't showed up on our list, and I think he'll be there next year, to be honest. But Justin Herbert, you talk about a rookie guy, he had 10 picks last year. 10.
And he wasn't even supposed to play last year.
And he wasn't even supposed to play. And I will tell you this, and I have admitted this to Vic, and yes, I know that I have to admit things to Vic sometimes. But I will tell you that coming out of Oregon, I watched this kid play. Like, remember, I live 15 minutes from the stadium, from Autzen. So I watch how big the hype is and all of this. So Herbert coming out of college and being a Eugene homegrown kid, I watched him and I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's going to be great at the NFL level. I just think he's got a lot to learn. He can't read defenses sometimes and all of that. And I'm number one here to tell you I'll eat crow on that, because if he plays that way every single year, he'll end up being one of the top 25 quarterbacks of all time probably. So,
but again, is it the system and the people that got put around him? I mean, you know, and I'm not saying you're wrong in your prediction beforehand, but yeah, I didn't know who the guy was until he started playing, 3 or 4 weeks into the season. I'd be like, who's this guy? I mean,
right.
So, and he was lighting it up too. I mean,
yeah, there's nothing else. But at number 12, Josh Allen. We'll look to see bigger things from Josh Allen. And Chris, give us number 11, man.
Number 11.
Another quarterback, probably not surprised here. Russell Wilson at number 11. I think he probably could be top 10, but I think all of them had us just outside that top 10. And the reason I have him just outside the top 10, and I have to say this, is because Josh Allen, Russell Wilson is one of those guys that for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year, every single year, you're like, oh man, Russell Wilson's winning the MVP hands down. He's winning the MVP hands down. It's not close. And then he's got 3 or 4 games in a row where he throws 2 or 3 picks for 4 straight weeks. And you're like, man, Russell Wilson doesn't look very good. And then the last third of the season goes on this miraculous run where Seattle wins 4 out of the last 5 games of the season and makes the playoffs and win in the division again. So Russell Wilson's one of those guys that is very hot and cold sometimes. But don't get me wrong. When he's hot, he's hot. There's probably... And being a Green Bay fan, I'm going to tell you this. Russell Wilson, when he's on, is probably the best quarterback in football. I won't even deny that. And Seattle has not given him anything to work with. Their defense is atrocious.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe their defense. So you talk about a guy that's going out and they're like, oh, he's only winning 9-10 games a year.
Yeah.
He's winning 9 or 10 games a year by himself, because those games he's winning, he's got to go out and score 40 points because the defense can't hold anybody under 35. So think about how great that is. I mean, talk about Russell Wilson for a second, Chris.
Oh, I mean, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He's won a Super Bowl already. He's been to multiple Pro Bowls, multiple awards, MVPs. He's probably one of the, like you said, generational quarterbacks.
Yeah. Big B, anything to add to that?
I mean, he should have at least 2 rings under his belt, but we all know what happened to that 1 ring. So, but
yeah.
No, I mean he's good. I mean, yeah, he's probably 1 hit away from 1 big hit from being out of the league the way he plays. I know he's killed the Vikings a few times because we couldn't tackle him 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he ends up throwing a touchdown or getting first downs left and right. So I take him as a quarterback. I ain't gonna lie. So and I think J-Mac, I know your team's been set at quarterback, but if you had a quarterback option, I mean, Russell Wilson wouldn't be a bad guy to turn to.
I mean, am I taking Jordan Love or am I taking Russell Wilson? I mean, that's not even a competition, to be honest.
I think I'd take Crispy Bacon over Jordan Love. I mean,
just saying. All right, so there's our 15 through 11. Recap that real quick. 15 was David Bakhtiari, 14 Khalil Mack, 13 Tyreek Hill, 12 Josh Allen, and 11 Russell Wilson. So when we come back with you on, let's see, tonight's Friday, so Monday night we will reveal 10 through 6. So we're getting close to the number 1. And 10 through 6 is going to be fun. So I know Chris is reading the comments right now. We're going to go through some of these questions. We'll get through these real quick. Help us with these Big B. So let's see. Joanne says that used to think Jay had the best voice on C2C. Now I'm leaning towards Crispy Bacon. Congratulations there, Chris. You're getting a fan with the voice.
Thank you.
And let's see. So then we'll go to next. We go, Justin. Thoughts on former Pats quarterback Scott Zolik getting canceled for what he said about Cam Newton? Look, all this cancel culture, it doesn't matter what he said. I mean, I heard what he said. I'm not going to repeat it on the air. All this, you're getting let go over something that you said. He didn't say it on the air. He said it in a private conversation to someone else. That should not be held against you. I'm sorry. But if Big B and I have a conversation, or Chris and I have a conversation before the show, what we say before the show really shouldn't matter for what we do here. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but that I'm so tired of people losing their jobs over things that really don't matter in the end.
No, and you're right on that. And everybody's trying to be in the media now and trying to break a story and trying to be like, stirring up drama and stuff. So it's got to come to an end. And some of these organizations, I mean, even businesses outside of the sports world, need to just kind of be like, well, it was said outside of work or whatever. It needs to stay out there, Now, if it's said on the air or something or face to face, okay, then there might need to be something taken care of. But when it's off the clock, it's off the clock. It shouldn't be that big of a deal.
So let me ask you then, going off on that for just a little bit, Big B. You have a young son. How old is Jackson now?
He turned 8 on Monday, the 24th.
Turned 8. Okay, so something just went down in one of the school districts here in Oregon, and I was a little put off by it, to be honest. I mean, I myself, between Jennifer and I, we have 7 kids, and I would not tell you the story, and then I'll tell you how I feel. Okay. Basically, this girl got she's a woman. Let's say, okay, so this woman got. Okay. This woman got scrutinized in the media. She's 31 years old now. Okay. There was some comments she made 12 years ago on Facebook when she was 19 years old, and she was helping out in a classroom. She got like administrator, I believe, at 31 or something like that. Or she's something with the school board. Anyway, so she's 31, got that at the school board. And she made comments when she was 19 about, I could see why parents leave their kids at the fire station. I could see why some animals eat their young. I mean, little off-colored comments like that after a day of dealing with elementary kids. And now there's parents in that school district saying she should not be an administrator for our students if those are the kinds of things that she's saying. She said them 12 years ago when she was 19 years old.
That's what social media now. It's everything. You got to watch what you say. I mean, something 19, 20, I don't care. From day one, you're on Facebook. If it's something said, I mean, yeah, it's going to look bad on you, but how are you nowadays? Have you learned from it? What was your... I mean, we don't know what the day is. I mean, we probably all posted something on our Facebook page about our job or a certain somebody, but we're not going to name the person. And, is that going to bite us, 5 years from now? I mean, who knows? It should come back a biter. I mean, they should work with it. And if she's doing a good job, hey, more power to her.
So let me ask you, Big B, then, would you have been with the parents that want her to resign her position, or would you have been with the parents that said, hey, we got to give her a chance to see how she does this first, and if she makes any more comments or anything that we see, maybe then she should resign her position, but we got to give her a chance first?
Well, yeah, I'm giving her a chance. I mean, if they're teaching my kids and my kid is learning, I mean, yeah, if you say something now like, oh, this kid's never going to learn nothing, okay, we might have to look into it. But if you're saying stuff like that back 19 years ago, but today you're teaching my kid and being respectful, then I'm giving you a shot, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then that's where I kind of stand. That's where I was saying, with the, well, I wouldn't want her to resign her position over something she said 12 years ago. I just think that's asinine, to be completely honest. It was 12 years ago. You got to give people learn, they change, they evolve, they mature. I guarantee you, Big B, you're what, 40?
43.
43. Okay, so you're 43. So sitting here with me right now, are you going to tell me that there's not things you said when you were 19 or 20 years old that you now you look back at them and you're like, that was really immature. I probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh God, I guarantee there is. And if somebody has something, I probably said something last week that was probably immature. That but yeah, if somebody brought something up like 10 years ago or high school age, and be like, hey, you remember saying this to me? It's like, if I did, I'm sorry, dude. Especially if it's on a recording or something. But I guarantee we all have. Chris, you're probably in the same boat. I know you're younger than me and J-Mac, but yeah, I know there's stuff I've said that was probably immature and uncalled for.
I guarantee it. There's probably something I said, within the last few days that people wouldn't take the right way. So,
exactly.
But I just wanted to get you guys' take on that because cancel culture kind of irks me at times. Just because.
Well, just the thing now, how everybody takes things differently just kind of irks me a little bit, And I'm not going to get into it, but so just watch what you're saying. I guess that's all we can do.
That's what you're saying. So let's get to a couple more of these. Who was the quarterback that weighed 300 pounds? Tim Fielder. That would be Jared Lorenzen, who has two Super Bowl rings. Who has 2 Super Bowl rings, by the way. So if we want to talk about Super Bowl rings mean everything, I'm just saying.
The hefty lefty.
Hefty lefty.
And then you got what's his face from the big guy from the Raiders that was a quarterback that couldn't watch video or something.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, he's probably pushing $3 bills right now too.
Probably. Hey, Tim Fielder has a question for you, Chris. He wants to know if you would trade Russell Wilson for Dak Prescott.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Hey, Chris, think of it this way. If you trade Dak Prescott, you don't have to cut DiNucci then.
That's true. That's true.
That is a tough call, though. I mean, to be honest.
It is.
Oh.
They both kind of play a similar game, in a way.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Steph Curry's parents' drama, Del Curry and Sonny Curry in a divorce? Man, people get divorced in America every day. Justin, here's what I'm going to say. People get divorced in America every day. Why can't we just leave these people alone?
Nope.
I don't care who did what to who. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to take sides on this. I'm not going to tell you. And I'm sure that Steph Curry, Seth Curry, all the Curry kids feel the same way. Like they're both still their parents. They both are going to want to be in both their parents' lives. Like, just be. Why? Why should this cause drama? Why should we care? To be honest, people get divorced in America every single day. And
I mean, I've been divorced too, and nobody cared. So I mean,
just saying, for way worse things than an alleged affair, like for way worse things than that, people get divorces every day. So honestly, it should be a non-issue. It shouldn't be. Steph Curry. What do you think about? I mean, if a journalist walks into a locker room and says, "What do you think about your parents getting divorced?"
You should slug them.
Honestly, you should have the right to. Just saying. That's come on.
Yeah.
That's just digging up dirt. That's just trying to get a reaction out of you. That's trying to get you to say something that you wouldn't normally say. Like that is what journalism is all about, and that is why media today is just it's so out of control and it's so in your face.
And that's one thing with being a celebrity now. I mean, everything's open book, and you don't have no privacy. And I mean, we've all grown up wanting to be sport athletes or actors or something. And honestly, right now, I don't think I would want to, because everything's so open book. You have no privacy. I mean, you got celebrities shopping at 2:00 in the morning because nobody's around. so they don't get bothered. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like I saw pictures and I know that the Instagram, Facebook, those are kind of some horrible things. I mean, we're on Facebook. I don't want to say too much about them because I feel like we'll get blocked. I don't want to do that. But I just want to say that you see these articles on there about Adam Sandler. Here's Adam Sandler walking his kids down the sidewalk today. Oh, look, he was wearing a. Who gives a shit? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care that he was walking down the street with a polka dotted shirt and blue pants. I don't care.
They're just trying to be normal people. I mean,
They're people
Yeah.
like you and I are. I mean, they put their pants on the same way we do in the morning. They get naked to take a shower. Like it's the way it is. Like think about it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
it is.
Jim,
I mean,
Jim,
trust
Carrey,
me.
Jim Carrey said
ahead.
it best. Jim Carrey said it best, and this might be a thing you guys want to use for movie night. But Jim Carrey said it best. They asked him on a late night show, "How do you sleep at night knowing that there's people that don't like you?" Do you know what his answer was?
I don't care.
Buck ass naked, so if they want to come and kiss my ass, they can.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, some of the celebrities don't care that we hate them. I mean, everybody. I don't care. People hate me. I mean, and it actually kind of bugs my wife a little bit. She's like, "You don't care how you look?" And, no, I don't care.
No, I don't
I'm
care.
probably not going to see that person again.
I don't give a
so-
crap. I don't.
I mean,
don't
I'll
care.
dress nice for work. I'll dress nice if we have a nice evening out or an anniversary or something. But outside of that, I'm in shorts and a tank top all the time. So
I completely agree with you, and I, I don't care. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I don't care what
I don't.
anyone's thoughts are. It really doesn't matter. In the long run, you gotta. We're on this earth for a very short time, and you
Yeah.
have to be happy with the things that you're doing while you're here,
Yep.
and not care about what other people think. It's just how life is. We got off on a tangent there, kind of got off topic, but.
Oh, that's cool.
So real quick tonight, we're going to do a quick rapid fire. We're going to go 2 questions each. We're going to start with Big B.
All right.
Big B, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Let me get them pulled up real quick. What is something you've done that you are most proud of?
Ooh. There's a couple that come to mind. I mean, but most recently, I think, just being the best dad I can to my son.
I concur with you, brother. I think that's the best. I have a T-shirt that one of my kids bought me just to go on this real quick, and it's probably my favorite shirt ever. They buy me clothes like that's what I get for my birthday and Christmas, and I'm cool with it because that's fun.
Yeah. Anything from your kids you're going to be okay with. I mean,
Right, but
it could be a keychain.
I believe it was my oldest daughter that bought me a shirt that said, "Dad, the best job I never wanted."
Yep. No, I totally agree with that. Hey, Chris, you'll experience it someday, hopefully. And I mean, outside of that, the best thing I've accomplished is probably, playing baseball as long as I did. So,
Yeah. Okay. Last one is, if you won $1 million, what would be the first thing you bought?
my mama house.
I like that answer.
I probably
That's an
agree with
awesome
that
answer.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, give Chris all the good ones so we can see him laugh and get blushed.
Right. Chris, morning, noon, or night?
Yeah. Morning. I don't,
Oh man, that's awesome. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one, Chris. Be ready to be embarrassed. I guarantee this is going to embarrass
Oh
you.
God.
Remember, we go dark 30 because it gets a little dirty. I just want you to know that
boy.
before I ask this one. So, Chris,
Is this a Dragon Viper question?
maybe. Chris,
yes.
underwear? Question mark.
Yes.
All right, that you passed. That was
Tim said he'd buy gummy bears with $1 million. That'd be a lot of gummy bears.
I do not doubt that Sarge would buy gummy bears, and so would I, by the way, because I'm going to tell you, there's always two things that are next to my bed at night, and do you want to know what that is? That's gummy bears or gummy worms and water. That's it. That's what's next to on my nightstand every single night. Other than your normal stuff, a fan, your phone, whatever. But gummy bears, gummy worms, or water.
Oh, that might be something to talk about. What's next to your nightstand every night? That's kind of.
That's a good question. Yeah, we'll go with that
would
one.
be. That would be a good one.
All right, Chris, why don't you take about 45 seconds and tell us anything you want to tell us before we wrap it up.
Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Make sure to tune in to Movie Hour tomorrow around 12 Central, and then also Sports Minute tomorrow evening.
All right. And Big B?
So before I go on my little 40-second tangent, J-Mac, I got to ask you, now that I kind of brought it up, Deion Sanders, you said he frustrated you on the football field, but what was it like rooting for him for baseball? Because you're a Braves fan.
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
How'd you pull that off?
It wasn't easy. You hated the guy for like 3 hours a week if you're a Braves fan, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good one. So anyway, to sign off, thanks for everybody for watching, commenting. Like Chris said, check us out tomorrow for Movie Hour and then Sports Minute. And then Sunday, you'll see myself, Chris, and I believe J-Mac. Morning tailgate about 10:30 on Sunday. We'll break down some NFL teams and give some predictions on what we think might happen this upcoming season. So that's all I got.
Yeah, and you guys said it best. Chris P. Bacon, man, we thanks for being on here. Everything you do for the network, backstage, on screen, all of that. Big B, thanks for coming on as well and hanging out with us for a bit. Thank all of you for watching, commenting. All of you, thanks for being here. We could not do this without you. Lifelong dreams being lived here, and it's all because of you guys. And so, Justin, thanks so much for the comments, man. Tim, Joanne, anyone else that I missed, I apologize, but we couldn't do it without all of you. So this is J-Mac for Chris P. Bacon, Big B, and myself. We're signing off for tonight, and we will see you on the other side.